Welcome to the ABI Online Radio Show, where you're about to hear from industry experts that will share their stories and advice on how you too can learn from their expertise and life's experiences. And now it's time for the next interview, so let's get on with the show.
Hello and welcome everyone to the show. This is Carol Santella, your host, and today we have the great pleasure of having with us Mr. Fred Gillen from wonderful Australia, to be exact. His expertise is global, and his decades of street smarts and business experience certainly position him as a great mentor and an online marketing strategist and authority. Fred works with business owners to help them understand what they need to attract more clients by using the power of the internet to grow their businesses. And Fred is also a recognized public speaker and published author. Today, our great topic with Fred is on the power of webinars, and with that, I extend a heartfelt welcome to you, Fred, and how are you today?
I'm fantastic, Carol, and it's really great to be online with you today. It's not quite sunny Australia today. It's a little bit overcast, and it's midday our time, so it's probably evening your time, I believe.
It is, with beautiful storms at the moment. But at least we are going for it, and we're going to have a good interview here, and I can't wait to delve in because I know there are a lot of questions running through my mind already.
That's great. That's why I'm here to serve.
Great. So I guess I was thinking that probably the place to start would be to share what exactly a webinar is for those who may not be familiar with what they are, and then are there various types of webinars or just a standard style?
No, that there's a few options available. But just to clarify what a webinar is, a webinar is very similar to a live seminar. So if you've got a seminar that you put on where you invite people to it, and you know, you've got a slide projector, and you've got a lectern, and you've got your notes, and you just present whatever it is that you're promoting or selling to an audience. And what a webinar does is it takes all of that and it puts it online. So it becomes a virtual seminar. And that's probably a subheading for a webinar, so people get a better understanding of exactly what a webinar is. But it's basically taking a normal type seminar environment where you're talking to a group of people rather than just one, and you take it online and you run it all from the base of your computer. So you're just sitting behind a microphone, and in some cases a camera if you actually want to be on screen and share yourself as well, or if you just want to run a slideshow similar to what you do at a live webinar. So it's a virtual seminar in all respects.
So that would make it better than a teleseminar because of the visuals.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it, and that's the huge benefit, because a lot of people out there are, you know, it's like here, we're actually listening to people, and some people will do that in the car, and they'll replay podcasts, and they'll just do stuff, so there's a huge benefit in the audio. But the big benefit from the webinars are that you can actually you could either be on screen, so you can present yourself and build your notoriety, and you know, you can set up that relationship with your viewers, or you can just have a slideshow where you talk about your products and services and run through a slideshow. So the visual aspect keeps people engaged probably a lot more than just an audio session, and that's one reason that you can probably run webinars for a lot longer than just an audio session, because people's attention spans are a lot longer where they're looking at something as well as listening to it. So I hope that answers your question.
It does, and I can imagine that engagement is a huge part of any type of work in business today. And so especially with that, how would people engage in a webinar?
Well, there's a few ways of doing that, but the main way is to actually get your audience to respond. And with webinars, you've got what they call a chat window. So down one side, there'll be a little window where you can type in questions. That's one way. So you type in questions, and usually the presenter will start that process by asking questions. So they might start off the webinar by encouraging people to let them know that they can actually see everything, so they can see the screen. So, or they can hear the audio, and the audio is crisp and clear. So that would be an initial question and it's not staged, but it's programmed. So the presenter will ask those questions, so they get the viewer to actually action their keyboard. So they do something on the keyboard, it gets them engaged into the actual presence of the webinar. And then throughout the webinar, they will ask more questions like, can you still hear me? Or was that, if everybody liked that information, can you type 1 in the chat box? If you didn't get anything out of that, well then type 2 and they'll expand on it. So you do that throughout the webinar to encourage people to stay involved, stay engaged, and keep their mind on what's actually happening rather than going off and looking at their emails while they're listening to you, or checking their spam folders, or looking at Skype and Facebook and all the rest. So you've got to try and keep them engaged by asking questions and getting them involved in the actual presentation.
Okay, thank you for that. And would there be specific businesses that would benefit the most from conducting webinars, or doesn't it really matter, like who holds them?